But let's get started. I guess the thing is, if you're here, whatever you're here for, whether it's, well, for you or your daughter or whatever you're here for, if it's bad periods, painful periods, irregular cycles, you've got PMS, your moods are really low, if you just have a vagina, you're in the right place. This is the place for everyone. We're just going to chat about things. I'm going to share some of my stories from clients, and give you some top tips. So just go with it. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about this whole thing's going to be half an hour. I'm going to talk about 20 minutes, and then I'll answer some questions at the end. So feel free to pop them in the box as we go, and I will get to them definitely. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm Jodie Bramman. I am a nutritional therapist, and I'm also founder of the Female Health Hub, which is basically Disneyland for your female body. You just learn about everything you ever want to know about being a woman. And I'm going to tell you more about that at the end, but just know that it's epic. And I started this whole thing. I got into this field because I had the worst periods. I mean, I'm sure there were people worse, but they were just horrible. I would be doubled over in pain every month. It almost felt like I had post-traumatic stress between one period and the other. I hated being a woman. And I would actually get to the point where I would be sick every month. It was one of my lowest points. I've told this a lot, is when I just was walking down the street and ended up throwing up and having to wash my hands in a puddle. It was a very low moment in my life. And I also had a fertility scare where I was told I might not be able to conceive naturally, have to have an operation if I wanted to think about it. And I was absolutely terrified. And whilst I was in nutrition, I didn't really know about female health, and I just threw myself into research about the female body, about hormones, and I tried every single diet and loads of different supplements, and I spent years trying to figure it all out. And this is why I am now super passionate. Well, to end that story, after a couple of years, my hormones started to rebalance. Everything kind of came back into place. I realized what worked and what didn't, and I fell pregnant naturally with my son. So it was a happy story, happy end. And this is why I am so positive and want to share with you that there is so much that you can do in order to really change your body and have the easiest and best periods ever. Don't let anyone tell you that period pain is normal, because it is not normal. It's not okay. It means that there is something going on in our body, and it's about digging and trying to find the root cause of actually what's going on, because there is always a reason. It's just about trying to find what that reason is. Is everyone here kind of painful periods? Does anyone else suffer from difficult periods? Anyone with pain? Anyone with fertility issues? Just pop in the chat box and tell me your woes. Painful periods and ovulation pain, period pains. Yes. It's not fun, is it? But this is the whole thing. No pain, just have horrible mood swings. Oh, I feel you. Mood swings are horrible. I had those as well. Ever since I started, periods, fertility issues, bad mood swings only. Ovulation pain, very painful. Oh, isn't it joyous to just be a woman? Well, yes. The answer is yes. I want to change everyone's opinion. I want everyone to feel great about it. Love being a woman. The thing is, it's pretty cool because every single month we have this opportunity to get a window into our health. Our period is a window into our general health. It's amazing. It's like a report card, and it's our fifth vital sign. This is why we kind of rule over men. They don't get these little insights, but we do. And we've got this amazing opportunity to see whether we can change things. So nutrition, believe it or not, can have a massive impact. And for anyone that's doubting this, just imagine you had a headache and you take a paracetamol. You put it in your mouth, or a painkiller, whatever it is, you put it in your mouth, you swallow it, and the pain goes. We put food in exactly the same place. It goes in here, and yet we kind of don't expect it to have an impact, even though it is, we eat food more than we take pills, and we just think, oh, it won't impact us. It really, really does. When we eat something, it gets digested, the nutrients get extracted, they swim around in our blood, get taken up by our cells, and our cells determine how our body functions. So how can our food not impact our body? And it really can. And this is amazing because it's something that we can control. It's something that we can do positively every day, a few times a day, to make a massive impact. So you know, the main reason that things don't work is because we have hormonal imbalances. This is what it comes down to, whether it is the mood swings, whether it's irregular periods, whether it's having a couple of periods a month. I've seen someone said crippling pain. Oh no, crippling pain, whiteouts and vomiting. Oh, I want to give you a hug. But yeah, this all kind of comes down to a hormonal imbalance. And I'm going to give you, I've said this a couple of times, but I'm going to do it again. I'm going to give you a couple of insights. Now, the first big tip I would say to people is do not skip your meals, okay? There is a big craze at the moment with fasting or intermittent fasting and cutting calories because it's shown to be healthy. Well, it can work with men, but in women and with exhausted women, I just don't see this working at all. It is basically like you are running on empty if you are fasting. And when that happens, you're not putting all the nourishment into your tank, all the fuel into your tank. Your body goes into a physical state of stress from the minute that you wake up in the morning. If you're just not eating, your blood sugar levels drop low. It's sending all stress signals to your body. And it's just that in turn is going to affect your hormones because your body will believe that it's in a state of stress and start messing up everything. It's not cool. How many of you skip breakfast? Do any of you skip breakfast or do any of you fast? Tell me now, tell me. Guilty. I do, yes. Right, I'm about to change your life. Have breakfast because you're just gonna be putting this amazing fuel into the tank, right? Because what happens is if you wake up in a state of stress, think about it in terms of like an evolutionary kind of sense. It will be sending these stress signals going, oh, there's a fly, sorry. Sending these stress signals going, is there a famine? What's happening? And your body then starts to go into survival mode to protect you. And when your body is in survival mode, it will not prioritize reproduction. Plus, those stress signals can really affect how you break down your hormones and how you build your hormones, all of that stuff. So we just want to tell the body it's safe and fill it up with nutrients. So I had a client that she came to me, she was absolutely exhausted, she was really stressed, she was having the craziest mood swings. She's like, I feel possessed on a monthly basis. She was missing her periods as well. They were just vanished. She had like stress belly as well. Do you know when it's like a kind of like a muffin top, like all your weight just collects around your tummy? So that is, I call it stress belly. And what we did, I said to her, okay, let's just eat more. Let's just start with breakfast. I want you to have breakfast. I want you to make sure you're having lunch. She was like, oh, okay, I've just heard that fasting's healthy. She tried it, and within a couple of months, her periods returned and her mood started calming down. It is just the most simple thing, and it's just all you need to do is start with something really nourishing when you wake up. How easy is that? See, told you these were easy tips. Now, the second one I want to talk to you about, this whole calorie in, calorie out thing. A lot of people count calories, again, thinking they're being healthy because they're trying to lose weight. And we've been told that weight can affect our hormones, or we just feel like a lot of these influencers we see on Instagram or social media, wherever it is, they're going, okay, I just eat whatever I want. I'm going to have this burger and I'm going to have this chocolate bar. I'm going to do this, but I'm going to work out for ages afterwards because it's that whole calorie in, calorie out thing. Newsflash, this is not true. Calorie in, calorie out thing doesn't work because it doesn't take account of the nutrients that you put into your body. If you think about this way, Coke Zero, right? 0 calories, no calories. And then you've got like an avocado, which is, I don't know how many calories, like 80. I'm just guessing, I don't count calories. But it's going to have way more calories. Well, which one is going to benefit your hormones more and fuel your body? It's the avocado, right? And again, it's like, all of these foods, all these nutrients, they are the building blocks. We need fats to build up our hormones. We need good quality foods to help fuel our cells, to help us, our body relax, come out of this state of survival, and to tell your body it's safe so it feels really good. And then you've got the whole exercise thing on top of that. And no, I'm really sorry, but a lot of people, there's a huge trend for spinning classes and for HIIT training and all of, again, the influencers like, I'm going to run marathons, I'm going out for a run because I've eaten whatever. When I'm talking about the stress response, this is another factor. All of this high intensive cardio exercise can be okay for people that aren't already stressed out. But I am yet to see a single woman that comes into clinic who is not in a physical state of stress. So if you're like a little bit running around because you've got, I feel like as a woman, we have so many tasks that we have to do in our life and so many different things. We're working and we're running around for everybody else. Those stress hormones are going to be up. And then if we go on top of that and do HIIT training or marathon running, or we're just doing cardio that raises up our stress response, we're going to be in another state of survival. It's telling our body that it's not safe. Think about it this way. Back in the day, we might have lived in caves or wherever it was. We would have this stress response if we saw a tiger, if we were running for our lives, or we were facing another tribe. It was amazing, and it was an absolutely beneficial thing that happened, because that stress hormone would raise up to help us run away or to help us fight whatever it was. It's that fight or flight response, and that is really, really beneficial. However, we are now experiencing this on a regular day-to-day basis, and our body cannot tell the difference. It cannot tell the difference between whether we get an email or a phone call, or we have a stressful morning, or we're not eating breakfast, or we're doing HIIT training or marathon training. Our body's going, are we running from a tiger? Are we running? Is there something terrible going on? And it sends up these stress hormones. And as I said before, I'm drumming it home to you, when those stress hormones are up, your body is not going to prioritize reproduction and or hormones. And that will include all of the period pains, the fertility issues, and the PMS. I'm looping this all and bundling it all together. Whatever period cycle problem you have, I'm bundling it there. Stress is going to be impacting you. So again, another example I use, I had someone come see me. She was training for a marathon. She wasn't ovulating. She was trying for a baby, wasn't ovulating, running for a marathon. And I think she was fasting, but she was definitely doing a lot of cardio stuff. Didn't understand why she couldn't lose weight, and her skin was crazy. So I said, okay, let's just swap your exercise, and let's swap it for less stressful, less cardio exercises. And we upgraded it. She looked at me like I was bonkers. Like I was telling her that she's just going to gain so much weight. And I said, well, you know what, just try it, just experiment and see. After I think it was a month or two, she came back to me just like beaming. She'd lost weight. And I think a couple of months later, she started ovulating again. So she was really getting baby ready. Her periods were just starting to look a lot better, just from changing a couple of things in her diet and her exercise. So I never fail to be amazed by how much nutrition and lifestyle changes can completely change our cycles. It's really cool. So I think we're on 3. My third tip is don't eat carbs on their own. We don't want any lonely carbohydrates. And what I mean is, like, we can have all like the sugars and the carbs, like the starchy veggies, they're all going to raise your blood sugar levels. Whatever it is, sugar's going to raise it more than whole foods, than natural foods, but it's going to raise your blood sugar levels up. And when we go up, it's going to come crashing down. And with that crash, that is when we get emotional, hormonal, hangry. We start to feel like irritated, and we start to get cravings. And at those cravings, we then need something else. So we get something that's more sugary, and we go, whoop, hello, and we come back up again, and we feel good, and then we crash. And we're going to constantly be doing this all day long and feel rubbish. And that in turn is going to cause that stress response and affect our hormones and our periods. So what we want to do, not only do we need to upgrade our carbohydrates, so we're having less sugars and more natural forms of carbohydrates, like starchy veggies or grains, things like that. But we also want to make sure that our carbohydrates are not lonely. We just eat them with protein and fat at every meal, because that slows down the release of blood sugar. And it just makes us go like this really nicely. Plus, protein and fat are so important to nourish our bodies and build our hormones. I don't know if I've said hormones enough during this. We love hormones. So this is why it's so important. Never have a lonely carbohydrate. Always make sure that you are eating carbs, protein, and fat together. So protein examples can be like your meat, your fish, your eggs, your beans, your pulses, and fats are like avocados, olive oils, nuts and seeds, those kinds of things. I've seen in the Female Health Hub, and I'll tell you a bit more about it in a minute, but I've seen massive changes just from women in the hub that have started taking on this new way of eating, and they have seen their energy and their moods completely stabilize. It's such a small thing, but makes the world of difference. The final thing I'm going to talk about is tuning into our cycles. Now, as women, we have an amazing thing that we are cyclical beings. A lot of the world is geared up to this rhythm, like the circadian rhythm, where we wake up in the morning, we've got energy, and then we kind of peak in the afternoon, and then we chill at night. Well, we have that, but also we have this infradian rhythm, which is cyclical. It means that we work on a cycle, and at certain points in our cycle, we're going to have more energy than others. And just before our period, our energy does drop because our hormones drop and our hormones change. And it is really important that we nourish this and we honor this. Back in the day, whenever women would have their periods, they'd go to red tents and they'd chill there. They wouldn't have to do any work. They'd just be relaxing, maybe being fed cake. I don't know, it sounds amazing. It's like my idea of heaven, and I really want to find one here, or maybe set up one. Maybe that's a webinar for another time. But it was all about relaxing. We don't seem to be doing that anymore. We just go, 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 go. And it is so important to pull back. It is important. It's like an arrow, right? You have to pull back to spring forwards. And if we don't take that time just before and during our periods to actually just calm down a bit, maybe pull back on our social arrangements, or just give ourselves the time to only do the work that really, really matters rather than trying to do everything, we will notice huge improvements in our cycle. We are meant to have energy dips. It's natural, it's beautiful, it's special. This is what is amazing about being a woman, and it's all about honoring that. And this is the thing, this is what the Female Health Hub, which I'm going to tell you a bit more now, is all about. It's about honoring our cycles and loving our body. And I'm going to tell you this, for anyone that's sitting there going, oh, there's always so much sense, I want to know more. Well, this is why I created the Female Health Hub. I have worked with so many women over the last however many years to help balance their hormones and to get their periods back. And I've seen incredible improvements. Women that are told they won't be able to have babies again have gone on, or babies ever, should I say, have gone on to have really healthy births and gorgeous babies. I've had women that have just, one in particular, one of my favorite women clients that came to see me, she could barely talk to me at the beginning because she was so emotionally just in pieces, honestly. And she was just crying in the session, didn't know how she was ever going to turn her life around. And within 3 months, she turned everything around, and she felt happier than she had done in so long. And this is just through food, lifestyle, mindset changes. It's massive. So I thought, this is all very well, but I'm not going to be able to help as many people as possible through this method. And I decided to record everything that I've done with clients over the years and put them into an easy online format. I've recorded masterclasses, I've got all my signature methods for balancing hormones, and I've put them online into the Female Health Hub. And there's also, because the thing is with women, we work really well when we support each other. This is what we're all about. We are a tribe. We need to have a tribe of women to cheer us on. So alongside all these masterclasses with my signature methods, there's also a private Facebook group where you can ask questions, you can connect with other women, you can see that you're not the only one going through this. I mean, if you just look on this little webinar that we've got, there's so many of you here that are all suffering from very similar things, because we're so not alone and we can feel really alone. And in the masterclasses, we go deeper into all of this. I help you to really make sure that your blood sugar levels are balanced. I help to show you what kind of exercises will be great for your body and which ones at different times of the month as well, because it can vary as to what works at different times in your cycle. I help you buffer the effects of stress from the inside, because whilst it's all very well saying, oh yeah, we go into a state of stress, and everyone's going, well, I'm stressed, how can I deal with that? You can buffer the effects of stress from the inside through diet, lifestyle, some supplement changes, all of those things. You can buffer the effects. So I go into that in more detail. Detoxification, digestion, do we actually need gut cleanses, and the best way to support your digestion, because that is so closely linked to our periods. I also talk about vaginal health, because thrush is not a funny thing, and neither is BV or urinary tract infections, but it's all part of being a woman. So we go into that in more detail. I've got masterclasses coming out in the next week on specifically endometriosis, PCOS, of regular periods. And it's all in there because it's designed to support you and help you feel absolutely amazing. And there are recipes, workbooks, downloads, everything. We've had women in, so we started think we're coming, this might be our 5th month. We've definitely been open for 4 months. 3 women are pregnant that weren't before because of the hub. We've got women that their PMS has vanished, their energy has gone up. You can actually see on my Instagram some of the, if you go to the highlights, you can see all the things that people are saying about it. Their period pains are vanishing, their cycles are becoming more regular. Someone that was having, I think it was, she was just bleeding every 2 weeks, and that's now stopped. I love this. I want everyone to know about this. And all it takes is 90 days to change your hormones, because that's how long it takes to mature one egg to grow and feel wonderful. So that's how long it takes. Just 3 months of your life to make a difference. And how epic is that? We can change the world. So if anyone is interested, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the link in the box just now. I'll send you the link. And for anyone that is on the webinar, you get an exclusive discount, hurrah, for 25% off. How doesn't this sound like a sales pitch? Sorry, but I'm just being honest. And I just want you to if you are excited and you're like, sign me up, I want you to just come join us. So if you use the code webinar10, webinar10 for the next 24 hours, that's how long it lasts, you will get 25% off to come join us. It can be a little bit tricky, but it's just I will get on to answering your questions in a second, sorry. Where you put in your last name in the box, there's a little thing that says have a coupon, and you just click that and put it in. Some people get a little bit lost on that. I'm working on it. But yeah, come join us if you want to. I would love to have you. And honestly, I can't promise, because that would be completely illegal of me, but I can pretty much guarantee that you will see some changes, because how can you not, right? If you start changing from the ground up, you will feel epic. And now, enough of that, enough of me chatting about all things like that. Do any of you have any questions that you would like to ask me about period health or moods, or even the health hub? Anything you want to ask, please pop it in the box. Don't be shy. No period question is too big or too small. Let me know. Tell me. I eat regularly, plus I have period pains. Davina, yes. Okay, I'm not sure if that's a question, but I can. The thing is, with I'm vegetarian. So this is the thing. You can, even if you've watched that and you go, oh yeah, I eat regularly, so why am I getting period pains? It's because it does go much more into this. I've given you some of my baseline tips, but actually you need to go a little bit deeper. It's also about what you're eating, the timings of your food. It's about how stressed you are and whether that is taking its toll on your body physically. It's about certain food sensitivities. I cover food sensitivities and whether that might be relevant to you. Whether, if you're having certain foods that are going to be raising your stress hormones in your body. I get you. The thing is, it's all about understanding what is going on for your unique body. It's about, I go through different tests that you might want to run through with your doctor, signs to look at. Even we're covering the thyroid. So some people say, oh yeah, my thyroid's fine, the doctors have checked it. I will teach you exactly what tests to ask for and the results, the reference ranges you need to be looking for. Like it's huge. Oh, there's lots of questions. Okay. I have PCOS and periods twice a month. Doctor's advice is the pill, but I'm happy off it. Right. I do cover this in the hub in terms of the pill and what it does. The pill is just a bandage solution. It deals with the symptoms and not the root cause. And this is the thing, I get really, really upset when doctors advise you to go on a pill for dealing with things, because it doesn't solve what's going on. It just masks the symptoms. So some people can be on the pill for PCOS and yet they come off wanting to have a baby. And because they've never dealt with the root cause, they then have to put in all this work when they want to conceive, and it can just take a lot of time. So there are ways with PCOS. It's one of the most common female period issues, but there is so much that you can do. And I actually have a masterclass I'm releasing, I think at the beginning, either the end of this week, but we're quite close to the end of this week, or the beginning of next week, all about exactly what to eat. But all of the stuff in the Health Hub will talk to you about blood sugar balancing, which is relevant for PCOS, and helping you to get your periods regular, the signs to look for in terms of ovulation, and yeah, making sure that you don't have 2 periods a month, because that is a sign that something is off. And it's just about getting to the root cause and finding why it's off and really, really nailing in and sorting it out. I hope that answers that question. What does black brown blood at the start and end of the period indicate? So sometimes that is like blood that hasn't been pulled out enough, and it can, this is just guesswork because I don't know your whole health history, it can be related to progesterone levels. And progesterone is very much linked to this whole stress response and blood sugar issues and everything that we've kind of spoken about a little bit today. So it's all about monitoring that, checking your cycles and seeing whether you can bring that bit into balance. How to avoid bloating at the time of ovulation. Oh, well, it's all about why you're bloating. Is it that there's a food sensitivity? Is it that you have an underlying sort of like there's something going on in your womb that needs looking at? Is it that you've got water retention? And a lot of the time, bloating around your period is quite common at ovulation and just before your period. That is a sign that there is, again, this hormonal imbalance. So it's about finding out what's going on. And it starts with sorting out your blood sugar levels. It starts with this stress thing, detoxification, making sure you get in the certain nutrients that are really important for that. So there are ways. Someone recently, I don't know whether she's on here, I think I saw her pop up. I had someone that came to see me. I think it was that she didn't wear jeans because she was bloating so much. And after 3 months, she's like, Jodie, I can wear jeans. I can wear jeans again. She was so excited, although I felt for her because she really wanted to get out and celebrate. And then it was lockdown. But hopefully she's out and about wearing those jeans because it is possible to get rid of bloating. Actually, that is one of the most common things that I see. Whilst it takes 90 days to shift your hormones, most people will see bloating gone in like a couple of weeks. How bad is drinking alcohol and hormones? Okay, so I do cover this in the hub, but essentially the thing is with hormones, it affects it needs to pass through your liver to be detoxified, to be detoxed. I never know how to do that word. It needs to go through your liver in order for detoxification to happen. There we go, we did it. So, but hormones also need to go through the liver. So if you're slowing down the pathway, because it's working on sorting out alcohol, you're not going to be sorting out your hormones. So, and I go into this in more detail, but just that's a little bit of an insight as to why alcohol may have an effect on your hormones. But it's all about experimenting and seeing what works for your body. And this is the thing. I don't say to people, do this, do that, go on with your life. It's like, well, experiment. Try it, see how it works with your body. Some people are like, please, Jodie, don't take this away from me. I don't want to join the hub because I'm worried that you'll take away my favorite foods. It's not about that. I don't do that at all. I just want people to understand how their body works. And you can see that, like, I make biology really simple to understand. So then you can choose whether to experiment and see whether it's an issue for you. Are there any seeds that you recommend to consume during our periods? Oh yeah, I do. If you look on YouTube and search Jodie Bramman, I have a seed cycling video all about that, about the certain seeds to eat at certain times of the month. So have a look at that. And I also have a blog on my website, which is, jodiebramman.com. I'm not sure if this is directly related, but related to the monthly cycle. Is early ovulation a problem, i.e. day 10 and 11? Can this be improved through diet and lifestyle? Day 10 and 11. It depends on the length of your cycle, really, and whether that's regular. It's really hard for me to give advice without knowing your whole health history and knowing what's going on. It really depends on the length of your whole cycle in general and what else is going on around that. But if it is an issue, then you can 100% improve it through diet and lifestyle. Like, this is everything. With any kind of period problem, it is about hormonal balance. Our periods happen because of a hormonal response in the body. So getting to the root cause and dealing with that and making sure you get the foundations in place, you can 100% start shifting things. Like I've seen so many things happen massively. Can stress stop my period? Yes, it absolutely can stop your period. Yeah, a lot of people, especially during lockdown, have noticed that their cycles have changed. It might be due to eating changes as well, but lifestyle changes, but a lot of people are feeling that stress is affecting the length of their cycle and stopping their period. Yeah, definitely. Are cheat meals days once a week okay? Or cause havoc on hormones? I actually talk about this in the hub because I hate this idea of cheat meals. I don't like the whole thing that it does to our minds, where we feel like we have to be on a strict, when you talk about cheat days, it's almost saying that your entire week or the entire way that you eat is like a diet, and it just sends messages to your body going, this is really a diet, and I am out of control, and I have to have this, and I have to have a cheat day to enjoy my life. And I hate that. I just hate that people feel that they're not going to enjoy their food. I want everyone to enjoy their food all the time. And it's all about making sure that you are just feeling great, you're enjoying your food. I give people recipes. Like for me, I'm a massive chocoholic. and I love my sweet foods, but it's just about upgrading those foods. So let's say I loved ice cream. Well, now I know how to either make my own ice cream, or I know the brands to buy that are going to fill my body with nutrients. So I don't need to rely on cheat days. I can just incorporate it as and when I feel like it, which feels nicer. I feel like I've just answered that in a really waffled way, but it really depends on what's going on for you as well. If you have a really serious period problem, your health is really not where you want it to be, some people might need to go a little bit stricter on things to start with, and I put them on a healing protocol, and they might want to go strict for a while and, you know, make sure that they don't have any sweetness. I'm just kind of guessing here. And then you just, once you start to heal, you then can start to bring things back. But I'm going to stop waffling on that one, but it really depends on where you're at with it. Is 3-4 day bleed normal? A 3-day bleed can be normal, but it really depends on how light the bleeding is. If the bleeding is really light and you're soaking through, I think it's like less than, was it 18 mil? I've got this in a whole, I've actually, this is becoming part of, just written a whole workbook on this in terms of, for the Health Hub, about light bleeds as well as irregular periods. But it's something like, there's a certain amount of tampons or pads that you need to soak through. But essentially, if it's a very light period, the bleeding is light, and it's 3 days, then you might have low estrogen levels, and it might be something that you need to look at, and it could suggest a little bit of malnourishment. But if it's a healthy, happy, you're flowing all day long and it's a nice kind of bleed, then that's absolutely fine. Sorry, PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome or ovarian syndrome. It's where you have cysts, you might have cysts on your ovaries, but you can have an imbalance in certain hormones like androgens, which I call them the male hormones, but it's nothing to freak out about. We all have male hormones, but it's just that they're slightly elevated. You can have irregular cycles. You can have difficulty with conceiving. You might have hair growth on your different parts of your body and hair thinning as well, and maybe acne. And it's it's one of the most common things that women struggle with. I think, I can't remember the exact figures, but is it one in 10 people have, or 1 in 10 women have PCOS? Oh my gosh, there's so many questions. Let me try and get through this quickly. Is it okay to take a painkiller to beat pain, such as paracetamol? Does it affect fertility? Right, the thing is, it's not that the painkiller will necessarily affect fertility, but it's that the period pain might be an indicator that something is up in terms of fertility. Pain is not normal, and pain is showing you that something is off balance and something needs work. So whilst a painkiller isn't going to affect everything, you need to be asking why you're getting the pain in the first place. And I would make sure you're getting to the root cause, trying to figure it all out. Come and join the Female Health Hub, because that will help you really get to the root cause. Oh, sorry, I've just seen PCOS is polycystic ovary syndrome. Brilliant. Thank you, Dahlia. My period is so heavy with massive blood clots on the first 2 days that I can't leave the house. What to do? Okay. I've had someone like this. I've had actually, in fact, like at least, I don't know, 4 people in the last couple of years with this. A lot of it is down to high estrogen levels. It could indicate that you might have some growths on your uterus. It's nothing to panic about, but the first thing I just say, just go check with your doctor, just have a little scan, see what's going on, maybe do some blood tests. But this is down to a hormone imbalance, and this is something that you need to work on. Detoxification, blood sugar balancing, stress management. Again, and I'm so passionate about this. This is why I set this up. But the Female Health Hub will help address all of this. And I have seen periods completely improve and the heaviness dissipate massively just by tweaking your diet and lifestyle. Are tampons bad for our cycles? So it depends on the type of tampons. And again, it's something that I go into. I think I even have a YouTube video on this. It depends on the type of tampons. A lot of the brands use bleached cotton, and the bleach, again, you're putting bleach into your vagina, which is just crazy. And that then affects all your hormones. So yeah, I would say a lot of the leading brands aren't great. Go for organic cotton if you have to, but also the tampon is going to be absorbing a lot of the fluid, not just period blood, in your vagina. And it is, yeah, I tend to recommend just going for pads, and that would be, and also like cotton. My period lasts for 7 to 8 days. So the first 3 to 4 days, only a few drops, and then flooded with unbearable pain. I can't get out of bed. What to do? Oh, Dahlia. So this is really similar to the question that I just answered. So I hope that helps. In terms of bleeding, like the length of bleeding, that's okay, but the pain is not okay. And if you can't get out of bed, we have to deal with this. What I should mention as well, sorry, I completely forgot to mention it. with the Female Health Hub, not only will this address all of the pain and the irregular cycles and the heaviness and the heavy bleeding and everything like that, but if you go through it and you actually decide that you want to work one-to-one with me because you want a bit more personal advice, and you want me to go through your food diary and look at your whole health history and give you supplement advice, I've got on the page that I just sent you, which I'll send you again, you can upgrade, or you can book in for one-to-one sessions with me so I can look at your whole health history and give you some specific supplement advice with that. But everyone that works with me now is going through the Health Hub anyway, so you get all the foundations and then we can just build on it. So if anyone wants that one-to-one support, you can definitely find that there. I just as long as you're in the UK, that's all. But there is loads you can do. Again, just in case, I just see all the messages. I'm like, I'm working through the messages, they're going up. But what I do want to say to you all is that all of your period problems, there is always a reason for this. There is always a reason that things aren't working, your moods, your energy, your pain, the bleeding, whatever it is, the fertility issues, there's always a reason. There is so much hope. You can do so much. And I've seen it with my own eyes. And this is why I'm like, I live for this. No problem with periods as such, but definitely mood issues. Is that hormone related? Yes, yes, yes. So in your brain, you have these brain messages called neurotransmitters. It's how your brain communicates. And they're kind of technically, I'm trying to think, that they're like hormone based. How do I explain it? So even your stress hormone, right, it's called cortisol. It's a stress hormone. So yes, that is the, I completely forgot what I was saying. That is a hormone. And lots of our mood and everything comes down to hormones. And if our blood sugar is off, then that can make us hangry and we get irritated, and that in turn can affect everything. I'm really starting to waffle now. Let me have some water. Fuel the brain. So yes, I should have just answered that. Yes, it is hormone related. If the womb is contracting in order to push out the unwanted lining, isn't some pain not to be expected? Not really. You can have, so there's two different types. I've got a masterclass coming specifically on period pain. There are two types of period pain. One is called primary dysmenorrhea. Dysmenorrhea is the painful period, and that can be like a little bit of pain that doesn't really impact your life. And that is to do with prostaglandins and the contraction. And that might just mean that you need to work on a bit of inflammation and just calm it down. We can have some feeling, but not pain. And I'm talking about actual, like, oh, this really hurts. Like, that shouldn't be happening. That's like a contraction, right? We shouldn't be having contractions in order to have a period. There's also secondary dysmenorrhea, which is much more intense period pain. And I tend to see that a lot with women, where they're just, like a couple of you have said, you're just lying in bed. And that can be down to underlying conditions that you want to go through. Is it Tanya? I presume it's Tanya. It's a really nice way of spelling your name. Sorry. So can balancing hormones help with acne? Yes, 100%. Because again, you're getting to the root cause. It's like, why is that acne happening in the first place? If it's on the jawline, it tends to be reproductive hormone related. So again, that will happen. But it also can be down to, like I said, PCOS, which is where you have high levels of androgens, and that can present as acne. And it can be due to detoxification, which means that you need help with eliminating your pathways. So yes. I just needed to be like, yes. Yes, it does. 100%. I've had a couple of people, I really need to get people to take before and after pictures. I'm so annoyed that I don't, because I also just don't want to pry too much. But tell you what, take a before picture, come join the Health Hub, take an after picture, and you tell me if your acne is improved. But I will almost guarantee that it will. How can it not? The skin is the last place that signs and symptoms show up. So you've gotta care for your body. My period is so short and not heavy at all. Sometimes I only need to wear 1 or 2 small pads. Usually only the first day is a bit heavier and would need only 1 or 2 normal flow menstrual pads. You think this is a normal pattern? No, actually that is probably a little bit too short. Well, it depends how long the days are, the first day. If it's just a couple of days and it's too short, I would say that no, you're probably not ovulating. And this is just me guessing. This is 3 days. If it's 3 days and hardly any blood, I'm guessing. All I can do is guess at this point, because I don't know what's going on for you. But I would say that you're possibly not ovulating. Your estrogen levels might be a bit low, and it sounds like it could be a little bit of malnourishment. So it's going to be about nourishing your body, building it up. And I don't want anyone to sit here, if I'm addressing all the questions and I'm going, I don't think that's normal. That is nothing to panic about, right? This is just an indication that, okay, maybe it needs a little bit of work. And there is, again, so much that you can do through diet and lifestyle, just tiny little, I call it upgrades, because that's all it is. So yeah. Oh, I've got to the end of the questions. Amazing. Thought I'd never get there. But honestly, if I'm going to leave you with anything, I just want you to know, as I've said this, and I want to drill it home to you, that it takes 90 days to change the quality of your hormones. You can start to see, a lot of people do see results very quickly. It's kind of the skin, the energy, and the bloating that goes first. The skin doesn't go, it just improves. You're not going to become invisible, don't worry. So that's where it starts. And you will start to see, how can you not? If your food is what builds your cells in your body, and if anyone wants to go into this more, honestly, the Female Health Hub will help sort you out. I am there. I give lives every fortnight. I answer questions. The group of women in there are absolutely incredible. There are a couple of times, they don't know this, but I do well up a little bit when I see some of their comments and the support for everyone. It's amazing. And again, if you want any other help, feel free to message me. I'm happy to answer any questions that you've got. Don't forget, put the link, I'll put the link again if any of you need it. I'm going to send a replay as well. Hopefully this is recorded, providing tech has worked. And you'll get a replay as well sent to you. The discount code is webinar 10. You'll get 25% off. That will last 24 hours. So if you want it, come join quick. And if you've got any questions, feel free to message me. And hopefully this has massively helped, and you will start to see massive improvements in your periods. And thank you so much for, yes, it should be recorded. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me at 2:00 on a Thursday afternoon. I'm just going to stop there. I hope to all see you soon, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and a weekend. Oh, good. I'm pleased you found it useful. You are more than welcome. Yes, the thing is, there is so much we can do as women to support our bodies, and I want more women to know about this. And tuning into our cycles is epic. We need to love being women. Right. I'm going to love you and leave you, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.